I hope the screen is visible to everyone.
Yes.
Yes. So first of all, let me elaborate the syllabus to everyone. I hope the syllabus is visible. So this is your course, Operation Research, and it will be there in this semester for 50 marks. So total 2 credit course we are going to study in form of this Operation Research, and we have been allocated 2 lectures per week, including 2 hours, and the total credits are 2, as I told you. And the evaluation scheme, which is very important for us, is divided into 2 parts. First is the IE1. Let me highlight it, and it will be for 20 marks. We may raise the scale of evaluation, means we may take the IE1 for 40 marks and then we can scale it down to 20 marks. And then similarly for ET, end-term examination will be for 30 marks. Obviously here also we may upgrade the evaluation scheme, and then later on after evaluation or after grading we may scale it down to 30 marks. So in all, 20 plus 30, total 50 marks examination will be conducted, and out of 50 you can secure marks in this Operation Research. Very first thing, before we go for any course, we must understand that what is the use of this course, what are the objective and what outcome are expected. So first of all, let me elaborate you these things. The prerequisites for this particular course is applied mathematics, including calculus and linear algebra. Means it is just the part if what you learned in your M1, M2 and M3. Probably from M3 we will be requiring only the probability and statistics part, which is also mentioned over here. Calculus based probability as well as statistics. So bit of linear algebra and probability statistics will be needed over here. The objectives of this particular course we also should understand. The objective is to enable the student to familiarize the concept and techniques of the linear and non-linear programming problems, to derive the feasible optimal solution for transportation and assignment problems, apply various methods to select and execute various optimal strategies using decision theory, and to construct network diagram with single and 3-time estimates of activities involved in the project. So these are objectives of this particular course, and how we are going to achieve that objectives, that we will study over here. Outcomes are expected in this way. After learning this entire course, you should be able to model and solve linear and non-linear programming problems, model and solve profit maximization in transportation and assignment problems, apply various methods to select and execute various optimal strategies using decision theory, and calculate project schedule and expected completion time for the project. So these are our major outcomes. Total 4 units are included in this particular course, and each unit will be engaged for 6 hours. So total 24 hours schedule we will be planning for operations research. And the content of each of these units are like this. Introduction to Operation Research. It includes the understanding of operation research, different approaches, models and modeling involved in operation research, advantages and disadvantages of operation research, and different methods involving in it. So that part we will be covering within within 2 lectures only. It will be completed. Then further half part of the first unit is linear programming, where actual linear programming model we are going to deal with. The very first thing is that certain verbal problem will be given, which can be modeled into the mathematical equation, and that mathematical equation can be solved using the techniques of optimizations that we are going to study over here. First, in terms of linear programming, It includes the linear programming model, as I told you, its advantages and disadvantages once again, applications of linear programming and assumptions for the same, how to formulate a model for a given problem, and how to solve it using the two important methods in linear programming called as the graphical method and the simplex method. So all that part we will be covering in the second half of the first unit, and which may require 4 or might be 5 hours to complete. So that duration we will manage later on. Second unit includes another different aspect of operation research named as transportation and assignment problems. This is also very important and integrated part of operation research to understand well. Actually, transportation and assignment problems are nothing but linear programming problems only, which have a different context, and hence we are studying it a little different manner. So all the models of transportation and assignment problems are included over here. The variety of methods are there to find out the initial feasible solution for the transportation and assignment problems. And once we reach to the initial basic feasible solution, how to optimize that we will be learning here with the help of certain mathematical techniques and models. So that will be our entire unit 2. Third unit is decision theory and game theory. Here we are
I just wanted to ask this transportation, this fleet management will also be a part of this fleet management, what we do in transportation.
I'm sorry, can you repeat it?
This fleet management, what we do basically in the logistic part. So whether this will like practical application also we are going to learn in this transportation and assignment.
Yes, definitely. The problems are given in such a way that practical approach can be generated. For example, suppose I wish to handle the supply chain management. So that includes the transportation problem of that supply chain management as well. So that particular problem we can handle effectively with transportation problem.
Okay.
So verbal problems are given in each sector, like operation research is applicable everywhere, almost everywhere, in business, in agriculture, in government sector, in certain policy making sectors like LIC, Life Insurance Corporation of India. So that way also we can handle the transportation and assignment problems and sometimes decision making problems also. So third unit will be talking about the decision theory and games theory. So one important technique we have to understand over here, which is a Monte Carlo method. I hope it's included in third unit. Oh, it's not. Okay, anyhow, I will give you the glimpses of that Monte Carlo method also, which is very important in decision making where the randomness is arising. And whenever randomness is there, there comes the probability and hence the Monte Carlo method also. So I'll try to give the glimpses of the same. So this unit includes the different types of or stages of the decision making process, types of decision making environment, decision making under uncertainty, which I was about to tell you that randomness. Uncertainty stands for the randomness of the situation. Then different processes under the same we will be learning. Then game theory, 2-person zero-sum games, pure strategies. And actually game theory also involves certain kind of randomness many of the times. Many of the times we may have certain kind of maximum and minimum principles involved in the game theory also. That also we will be learning. And mixed strategies also we will be learning over here. And their application in different interdisciplinary areas, that also we will be looking for. And in project management, we will be handling certain case studies, which includes the PERT analysis. That PERT analysis is nothing but the program evaluation and review techniques. And the CMP, CPM network components also. That CPM stands for the critical path method variation. So that also we will be including over here. So different phases in project management and different types of analysis using PERT and CMP method we will be looking into. So estimation of the project completion time also we will be looking over here. I would like to give you an example once again of that supply chain management. So whenever we come across one particular example of supply chain management, we are using here ERP system and APS system. ERP system is for enterprise resource planning and APS system for advanced planning and scheduling. So including that, how the entire project management can be done, that we can look into through this fourth unit. So here also we will be utilizing 6 hours of our syllabus. Reference books are also included over here in the syllabus. What we will do throughout this particular course, we will be forming certain Google Classroom for our operation research division, and I will upload over the syllabus copy as well, and the soft copies of few of the textbooks which are there with me. So that copies also I will attach over there. So you can refer that copies for your further understanding, and further types of problems, variety of types of problems included in that particular book. So you can go for it. So here textbooks are included in J.K. Sharma, Operation Research Theory and Application. One more book we are having in our central library. If you could come any of the day, please refer that. It's by S.D. Sharma, Operation Research and Theory and Applications. Then we are having one more book which is Introduction of Operation Research by McGrail, Frederick Euler and Gerald Lieberman. So you can refer this copy also. And here few of the reference books are also included by Iyer, Van Weinstein, Gupta, Prem Kumar. This is also nice book. Hira and Gupta, we used to say it. And again Lieberman, Gerald, Operation Research and Introduction. So all of these copies are available in our central library. You can refer that. Additional one more book I am going to tell you. Two books. Operation Research by Taha and Operation Research by S.D. Sharma. So these two additional books are also available in our library. Few of the soft copies in PDF form I am also having with me. I will upload that on Google Classroom once I will form it. So this is about our syllabus. If you are having any doubts about syllabus, please let me know. Or may I proceed further? If you don't have any doubt.
Yeah, I guess we can go ahead with this.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so coming to the part of our syllabus now, let us start with the first unit obviously, which is an introduction to operation research, and this particular lecture and next lecture it will be a bit theoretical, because we are trying to understand what is the operations research, what are models and modeling included in it, what are the advantages and disadvantages of the operation research, what are different approaches, and what are different criteria or classifications included in operation research. So this lecture might be little theoretical for you, but bear with this, because for this particular topic, which is completely theoretical, you may have kind of questions in examinations too. So the books which we are using as a textbooks in for our syllabus, either it is Gerald and Lieberman, and or it is the J.K. Sharma or S.D. Sharma. For that book for further details of theoretical part of operation research. So first of all, coming with this operational research overview, we are going to look for. Operational research is the scientific study of operations for the purpose of making better decision. Now many of the times better decisions we have to take in every sector of either management or business or government organization or any institute, where we require the proper management for having better decisions and better outputs or outcomes. So in every such a sector, operation research can be implemented. So the definition goes in that way. Variety of definitions by many of the mathematicians and statisticians have came over here. Few of the definitions and approaches I included just for our understanding. Next is Excuse me. Give me a minute. Next is, it is a discipline that deals with the application of advanced analytical methods to facilitate the better decisions. Now, many of the times, certain random decisions may happen in certain organization that may lead to the failure of the entire system. So, few of the sectors we can easily identify where any random decisions made the institution or organization to a failure path. So that we can avoid by applying the rational and advanced analytical methods to facilitate the entire organization or the stakeholders associated with that. Yes, but voice is not audible.
No, no, it is audible. I think Shankar, you might want to check your.
Okay. So,
It is very much audible, ma'am.
okay.
How about everyone else? Can you confirm?
Yeah, please everyone confirm this so that I can proceed. It's audible, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I'll proceed. So I was telling you about that application of advanced analytical methods we are using here to facilitate the better decision. Better decision in every sector, as I mentioned earlier, whether it is business or agriculture or organization of any institute, right? Then it represents the study of optimal resource allocation. Suppose I'm running certain institute and I'm having 200 persons working in my organization. So optimal resource allocation to the right department of all the 200 people must be there so that I can effectively and efficiently run my organization with maximum output and obviously the profit. So that study is being done under the operational research. In simple terms, it is described as the science of the better. Now, this particular definition I like very much about the operation research. It is the science of better. So, in every aspect of the operation research, in every term of the operation research, we are trying to be better every time. We are optimizing our resources, we are maximizing our profit, we are minimizing our losses. So in every sector we are trying to do better, we are trying to make the better decisions as well. So whatever resources we are having, that also effectively should be used to through our decisions. So this is the science of better. Nowadays, principles and techniques of operational research are being applied in every field of human research and development. So many of the times, government sectors are also using the operation research for optimizing all the resources we are having in our hand, like the land or the agriculture or the military. And let me tell you one important and amazing fact that many of the Indian industries using this OR technique or activity, like Delhi cloth mills also use this particular activity. Indian railways are also using optimization techniques or operation research for optimizing the resource and the further planning as well. Indian Airlines also, defense organization also, Hindustan Lever is also using the OR techniques. Tata Iron and Steel Company is also using this. Fertilizer Corporation of India also using this. So OR techniques are having impact in many areas, and it's very fair to learn this particular OR at the stage where you are completing your MTech. So it's very much essential for any organization or anyone who is willing to have better decision, being an integral part of any organization, to understand operational research, I must say. Before we go for further slide, I must give you glimpse about the applications of OR in management sector. One by one we'll look into every sector which in due course of time. But for management sector, Number one, we are going to use the finance, budgeting, and the investments. So it is a very important factor for the management point of view. Then second is the purchasing, procurement, and exploration. That is also important for certain management. Then production management is also very essential and integrated part of any organization or manufacturing firm. So that is also should be taken into consideration. Then comes to the marketing. That is also important aspect. Personal management, and obviously the research and development. So it's a cycle for any organization to decide the budget, then having certain purchases or explorations, having resource management or production management, having marketing of our product, then personal management, research and development, and getting back to the manufacturing once again. So entire process should be cost effective, should have the maximum profit, should use the resources very neatly and with very proper planning. So all that aspects are included in terms of the management of any organization or any factory, any manufacturing firm, or any government organization. So OR is very important in that point of view. Moving further, operation research can be scientifically defined in this way. It's a systematic and analytical approach to decision making and problem solving. So problem solving includes different parts, which includes the linear programming, non-linear programming as well. Because we don't know that whatever problem we are facing may have linear variables or non-linear variables as well. So a systematic, it's not randomly defined. Though the random situations we are dealing with, it's not randomly defined. The process is not randomly defined. It is systematic. And having analytical approach to define that problem and further its solution as well. OR is a branch of obviously applied mathematics that uses the techniques and statistics to arrive at the optimal solution to solve the complex problems. Now, every now and then we will be dealing with the term optimal solutions, and optimal solutions only, because everywhere we try to optimize the situation. It's typically concerned with determining maximum profit, as I told you earlier. Sell to get the maximum profit, obviously. Output, again we can relate that to the maximum profit. Crop yields, in terms of agriculture we can think about, and efficiency, and minimize the losses, risk, cost, and time of the objective function. So here further, when we actually go for the mathematical modeling, and we will use like linear algebra in terms of the matrix notation sometimes, or later on the probability and statistics also, we will be trying to look after this particular part, which is called as the objective function. And this objective function either will try to minimize or will try to maximize. Maximize in terms of profit, and obviously minimize in terms of losses, broadly if we are speaking about. Some of the primary tools used by operation researchers are statistics, game theory, probability theory. I must note down here, which is not written, it's linear algebra. So these primary tools we also mentioned in our syllabus, which are the prerequisites. Let's just briefly go through the history of the operation research. Actually, the origin of operation research is having its date back during World War II, and amazingly it was used to optimize the resources which are required for the war from one place to another. So it was actually a transportation problem, moving all type of military requirements from one place to another. And through that operational research branch arised. It was amazing to know that. And nowadays, apart from the military organization, it is widely used everywhere to solve the problems of business, industries, societies, nations, and many more. So, as I told you earlier, that it has a variety of applications, industries, and ranging from petrochemical to airlines, finances, logistics, and governments as well. So, in all, it has become an area of active academic and industrial research. So, variety of techniques still moving on for each and every bit of operation research which is included in our syllabus too. Take the example of linear programming, where I just want to address that transportation from a milk production farm to the different destinations where we have to send that milk production. So a simple problem like that can be effectively addressed with the OR techniques. We are looking into that particular type of problem as well. So this is a one more formal definition of operational research. Is a scientific study of operations for the purpose of making better decisions. So many more things are included in terms of definitions. You can go into the details. We come to now objectives of operation research. While discussing the definition, different definitions of operational research, we have discussed a bit about the objectives of the operation research also. First, decision making and improve its quality. Obviously, whatever research we are having, we'll try to give best out of it. So it's a cycle. Produce, then market it, get feedback, improve your product, and again get back to the manufacturing. So it's manufacturing, distribution, I must say, marketing, and improvement section. So this cycle will be followed for right decision making and improve its quality. Second is identify optimum solution. Obviously, while improving the quality, we'll try to optimize our all the resources, all the planning to get the maximum output. Integrating the system. The entire system is integrated through the operation resource because we don't leave any of the area of our organization unattempted through the operational research. So it will definitely integrate your system, that means the organization or the firm or the agency, whatever it is. Improve the objectivity of analysis. Now, analysis has been done in many of the ways. The standard analysis and its objective should be improved through the operation research. Minimize the cost and maximize the profit. We already talked about it. Improve the productivity. Yes, definitely. Success in competition and market leadership. This is very much important part. So let me give you one example for this. You might be knowing the Tanishq brand in the area of gold marketing. Everyone knows that brand?
Yeah, that's very much.
Yes.
So this Tata launched this brand, right? Many years back. I don't remember the launching year right now, but at that time when Tanishq brand was launched, they are having many thoughts in their mind, and that time the local vendors of gold in each city, in each area, were prominent, and many of the customers are having the way back bonding to that local vendors of gold. पुरखों से चला आ रहा है वगैरह वगैरह, that sort of attachment was there with the local gold vendors. So what Tanishq thought about, because the purity which and the concern of gold is very much important factor in people's mind of India, so that particular part was identified by Tanishq, and they worked wholeheartedly in 2-3 areas. Number one, wait a minute, let me write. Number one, authenticity of gold. So they launched first time the machine where the purity of gold can be measured. So each franchisee of that Tanishq was having that machine where you just bring your gold and try to check out its purity. So that worked a lot. So it created a vagueness of that local vendor, and it created the authenticity and reliability of the Tanishq brand. Second, they have worked on, just a minute, let me write. Second, they have worked on the variety in terms of the different gold jewelries. So each area, like in Maharashtra we are having different types of gold jewelry, in Tamil Nadu we have different types of gold jewelry, in Punjab we are having different types of gold jewelry. So variety they have provided, right? Then authenticity also they have provided, and they have relatively talked about the holistic values related to gold. So though the competition was big for them at that time, competition though it was diversified throughout the India, based on the local vendors of gold, where from the years, from the ages they were associated with, they are having certain kind of emotional bonding with each local gold vendor. But Tanishq created the and emerged as a brand because of the success in the competitions and market leadership, and they might have used fashion research somewhere in their branding. So today we can see that Tanishq as a major brand in gold sector, and it is defeating the local vendors as well as the established brands, like many, like Malabar Hills or the PNG in Pune area, or that Rajmal Lakhichand Jewelers in Jalgaon area and all. So that particular part I have given example of this Tanishq brand just to make you understand about the different processes which we have to look into when we are thinking about any kind of marketing and any kind of business which we wish to grow with. So operation research is an effective tool which will definitely help you to make to proceed with the big success in market with a proper analytical method. So that part we should understand while studying this particular course as well. Scope of operation research. Yes, we discussed it many times, right? We started with national plans and budgets like LIC. I give you one example. Healthcare services and national health programs, definitely it will be useful. Government development and public sector unit. For each of these applications or areas that I am mentioning here, we can have few case studies later on, that how OR is implemented in few of these areas. Definitely we can go for case studies out of these few topics we enlisted over here. Then industrial establishment and private sector unit, national defense services, research and development in engineering, public work department, business management, agriculture and irrigation projects, education and training, transportation and communication. So we'll have few case studies in these areas. Features of OR. Now, broad features of operational research approach in solving any decision making problems are as follows. Interdisciplinary approach, definitely. You name the branch, we can have application of OR in that branch. Whether it is mechanical engineering, whether it is heat and power, whether it is designing engineering, whether it is civil engineering, IT, computer, everything. We are having interdisciplinary approach of OR in every branch. Scientific approach, definitely. Scientific approach stands for the analytical thinking and implementation. So definitely we are using that. So scientific approach is the best feature of operational research. We are not using here any kind of randomness in decision making. Randomness in decision making is not there. Holistic approach, as I told you about the Tanishq brand, they prefer the holistic approach of their product to spread into the operation research. Definitely do that particular part. It is based on survey that we can go for objective oriented approach. So what our objective is, what I wish to do with. So suppose Z is our objective. So what to do with this Z? Whether we want to optimize it, whether we want to get a major profit, whether we want to minimize the losses, whether we are having the approach to have maximum output in terms of the productivity. So all that objective based approach we will be following in operation research. So that are the biggest features of operation research, we may say. Different methods are applied over here: simulation method, optimization methods, and data analysis method. These are the major methods which we are applying, and that are segregated in these three major groups, we may say. Simulation method. It gives you ability to connect sensitive study to search for improvements and test for improvement ideas that are being made. Suppose we are already having data, or we are doing any kind of survey. So through that survey, we can focus on these points, search where the improvements can be done and what are the different ideas to improve the things, that we can focus through this analysis. What are the sensitive analysis, and it can be done through the simulation of given products and the techniques used under that. Optimization method. Here our goal is to enable the decision makers to identify and locate very best choice where innumerable feasible choices are available. Comparing them is difficult. Now here let me tell you one example. In a village, a survey has been done that whether the people are wearing chappals or not. So two surveyors were sent and they have asked to observe whether that village people are wearing chappals or not. So one I can name that as a student. So first student went over there, he returned back and he told his organization leader that we don't have any scope in that village for marketing of chappals. Another students went and came back and he told the organization leaders that we are having 100% chance to sell our chappals to that particular village. So many of the times approach is very much important. So as the village people were not wearing chappals, one student may have that approach that it is useless to do the marketing over there because they don't know even what is the chappal is. But another students have this approach that they don't know at all what is the chappal is. So it's pretty fair chance that all the market is ours. So when we are having feasible choices, either to go for that village for marketing or not to go for that village for marketing, in that case, a fair decision is really very important for the organization leaders to go further, to march further, to proceed further. So that decision making is very much important, and optimization method will help us to do so. Another broader group is the data analysis method. Again, when we are having a huge data with us and we have to make a decision out of it. For example, suppose we are having weather forecasting. We are having weather forecasting every year, and suppose we are having 100 years of data, and through that we wish to predict that in year 2022 what kind of rain will be there throughout the India. So if such kind of data we are having, we have to analyze that properly, and what are the pretty fair chances through the data analysis we will be getting to make certain decision is really very important. Now weather forecasting is very what we can say, very important aspect in the country like India, where majority of agriculture still is depending on the rain. So over there, or in certain situations like this, analysis methods and the results arrived through that are very important for the decision making. So use of this kind of analysis will definitely lead to the proper decision making. Obviously it may not be 100% sure, and whenever we talk about the probability, there comes the randomness. So though we are doing the analysis, though we are predicting something, it will have fair chances to happen and not to happen. So that part is always there. operational research processes. We come to the next point now. Now, what are all steps included in operational research? So, how we have to go for a problem and how to understand whether this problem is solvable by operation research method or not. The very first thing we have to deal with the understand the problem. Identify the program problem. So, in an organization, what kind of problem we are having that we need to understand. Let me take one example here for supply chain management. I hope you have heard the company name Amazon or Flipkart or any shopping site, Myntra or Tata Click or anything like that. So these organizations work on the basis of the supply chain management, which use the ERP. Right? What is that ERP is? It's Enterprise Resource Planning, and APS. This is Advanced Planning and Scheduling. So these two concepts are used by the shopping sites like Amazon, Flipkart, or many more like that. So what they do usually through ERP, they used to take orders of the vendors or the customers say, and APS tackles the problems of advance orders they are receiving. So we may have either 10 weeks or 30 weeks prior orders saved in ERP, and that orders, their dispatch and their delivery will be managed by APS system for say 10 weeks to 20 weeks. So this management is entirely followed by a kind of proper algorithm which is set by operation research. So management can be done very effectively. And whether we are see here we are lacking in terms of management. So ERP system is taking advanced orders. APS system cannot manage the orders beyond 20 weeks. So we are having lacunas over here. So what problem is faced by a particular organization or institutes must be identified, and it should be programmed properly. So that is the first step of operation research. Identification of the possible reasons and solutions. So what are the reasons? What can be the solution in that regard? What algorithm should be followed to get a proper solution for it? So that also should be identified here. Testing the potential solution. Obviously, if a solution is being given, whether it is feasible or not, that should be checked. So testing is very important. Result utilization. So how the outcome or solution, I should not say outcome, how the solution provided, whether it is feasible or non-feasible. If it is feasible, whether it is utilized properly or not, that should be also checked. And result dissemination. So how to disseminate the result through the from the parent organization to the sister organization, that also should be checked. So these are the processes included in the operation research part. Now elaboration of each of the points is given over here. I think we can skip this particular part. You can read it later on also. Identification of the problem, then identification of the possible reasons and solutions. So description of each of the point is given over here. I will proceed to the next point. Models and modeling in OR. Now it's a very important part we must understand is the what is model and what is modeling. Now many of the times we try to mimic the things, real life problems into the structure which we can formulate. For example, suppose I wish to find out the area of the rectangle. Let me draw over here. So this is a simple rectangle which has length L and breadth B, and I wish to find out the area of this particular rectangle. What I will be doing over here while calculating the area, Should I take any scale and measure this length, and should I measure the breadth B and then again length L and again length B? We definitely do not do this. Okay? We apply the formula for the same. So this is a kind of modeling we are doing. So what we are trying to do here, we are real life application to calculate the area of the board. We formulate into the mathematical model, which is defined in this way: area is equal to length into breadth. And suppose in an organization I ordered certain 200 boards, and little variation in the length and breadth I observed. So that particular problem can be addressed in terms of non-linear programming of OR to address what type of error happened over here and how to sort out that particular error. So formulation is important aspect of any model, and in that sense we are mimicking any real life problem in terms of a model. We are formulating it, we are trying to set that particular problem into a bracket. So it's very important that how that real life problem can be set in terms of a bracket. So whether it is feasible, whether it is satisfying all the aspects of real life problem, whether it is addressing all the aspects of real life problem, that also we should understand. So models do not and cannot represent every aspect of real life problem. अगर हम हर एक aspect को address करेंगे, then definitely it will be a complex model which we may not understand, which may not have a kind of solution. Let me give you one example. My research area is computational neuroscience. So our brain, a normal human brain, is having 10 billions of neurons. So I am trying to identify a mathematical model so that I can check out first neuron and this is the second neuron, how they are communicating with each other. So I am working on that. And that neuron structure, here comes the biology. The neuron structure is very complicated, and we are having variety of neurons in our brain which are having different functionality, like motor neurons who will restrict our movements and all, some sensory neurons which have different kind of senses through our sense organs. So they draw the information to our brain, and whatever brain is taking the decision, that is passed on the each and every organ of our body. So that neuron trying to communicate with each other, that communication I'm trying to address to. Now in biology, the most complex organ we are having is brain. I'm talking about the real life application of converting in terms of the model. Now the question before me was very complicated, that if the neuron structure is such complicated, then how it can be modeled? But to our surprise, this entire structure of neurons is modeled effectively in networking. You might have heard the word neural networking.
Yes.
Have you?
Yeah.
So this entire neural networking area is modeled using the neurons of our brain. And because of this neural networking, it is possible for all of us throughout the worldwide to effectively use the internet facility, because I can upload anything on Google, on Insta, on WhatsApp or anything. It reaches to the another person who is exactly opposite where I am sitting. So that is just because of the giant networking which follows the neurons rules in our brain. But forming this neural networking was not a very easy task, because basically our brain is a very complex organ, and to understand it and to mimic it in terms of neural networking was a very heavy task, and it was done very properly, and still the complexity of brain is not reduced. We scientists are still working on it. scientists are still working on the neural networking to make it very effective. So model may not every time use the every aspect of real life problem because of its large and changing characteristics. I hope you understand this particular concept through this example of neural networking. But it can be used to analyze some of the aspects to understand the functionality of the real life problem. It can describe certain aspects of the real life problem of the system, or here I may say the real life problem, to improve their performance as well as to examine the changes out without disturbing the ongoing operations. So it is possible that without hampering certain complicated things in the real life problem to address the aspects which are majorly affecting, least affecting factors for that real life problem and the majorly affecting factors for that real life problem we can address through the proper model. The key to model building lies in abstracting only the relevant variables that affect the criteria of the measure of the performance of the given system and in expressing the relationship in suitable forms. Very formal definition. So मैं जो कह रही हूँ कि हम कुछ एस्पेक्ट्स को जो मेजॉरिटी फॉर्म में रियल लाइफ प्रॉब्लम के सॉल्यूशन को हैम्पर करेंगे उसे हम एड्रेस कर सकते हैं. जो लीस्ट पैरामीटर है, जो लीस्ट हैम्पर करेंगे हमारे सॉल्यूशन को, उसे हम कंसीडर नहीं करेंगे. So the relevant variables have that particular meaning. Okay. A model should be as simple as possible so as it gives the desired result, but simultaneously it should not go beyond the expected solution. So हमें ऑप्टिमाइज यहाँ पर करना है, तो मॉडल हमारा उस वे में चाहिए. ओवर सिंप्लीफाइंग द प्रॉब्लम कैन लीड टू द पुअर डिसीजन. मीन्स हमने बहुत सिंपल वेरिएबल्स लिए हैं प्रॉब्लम के लिए एंड हमारा प्रॉब्लम या मॉडल जो है वो हमारे रियल लाइफ प्रॉब्लम को एड्रेस ही नहीं कर रहा है प्रॉपरली. We will get poor decision in that case. So model should be not oversimplified, not overcomplicated. So it should address the precise variables of our problem. Model enrichment is done by changing the values of variables and relaxing assumptions. Yeah, it is about the retreating the model. जब हम एक मॉडल फॉर्म कर रहे हैं, उसका सोल्यूशन निकाल रहे हैं, नॉट गेटिंग द एक्सपेक्टेड सोल्यूशन, वी कैन रीच बैक टू दैट पर्टिकुलर मॉडल टू improve it. So sometimes changing of variables also possible in that case. And sometimes we can change our assumptions for that particular model. So it is like a cycle. Model formation is. Quality of models. The essential three qualities any model should have: validity, definitely. It should be valid model for that particular problem. Critical aspects जो हमारे मॉडल में है वो अंडर स्टडी प्रॉपरली जस्टिफाई होने चाहिए. यूजेबिलिटी, anyone should or can use that model properly with the specified purpose. Value of the model, ये भी important है हमारे लिए. It should not be very cost consuming, right? So apart from this base quality, यहाँ पर mention किया है cost of the model should be effective or efficient. Time required for building the model and formulating it and having simulations out of it, means result out of it. ये भी important है हमारे लिए. मॉडलिंग इसलिए एक्सप्लेन कर रही हूँ क्योंकि हम जब वर्बल प्रॉब्लम डील करेंगे ना एनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के बारे में, मैं एक एग्जांपल बताती हूँ आपको. मैंने जो अभी मेंशन किया था मोंटे कार्लो मेथड जो है उससे रिलेटेड एक प्रॉब्लम है हमारे पास जो हमें एड्रेस करना है फॉर सपोज. सो दैट मॉडल must be addressed properly, all of our aspects. Just let me give you one example in this. Actually it's not very good example that I'm going to give you. A bombing mission is sent to bomb an important factory which is a rectangular in shape and has dimensions 250 by 500 feet. The bomber will drop 10 bombs altogether from high altitude, all aimed at the geometric center of the planet. We should assume the given things, blah blah blah, given things are there. use Monte Carlo sampling to estimate the expected number of bomb hits and compare your result with the exact value. So ये एक प्रॉब्लम दिया है जो हमें मोंटे कार्लो मेथड के साथ सॉल्व करना है. So हमारा जो मॉडल है ना बेसिकली वो इस वे में चाहिए कि हम उसका न्यूमेरिकल सिमुलेशंस आइडेंटिफाई कर पाए. मॉडल शुड बी प्रिसाइज. अब इस टाइप का अगर प्रॉब्लम दिया है, बॉम्बिंग टू अ पर्टिकुलर डेस्टिनेशन जो एक पर्टिकुलर साइज की है, 250 डिवाइडेड बाय 1500 फीट, 500 फीट, राइट, एंड वहां पर हमें हाई अल्टीट्यूड से बॉम्बिंग करनी है. सो अगर इस टाइप का प्रॉब्लम है तो द वेरी फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन शुड कम इन आवर माइंड दैट अरे इसे मैथमेटिकल मॉडल कैसे बना है, हमें टेक्निक्स तो पता होनी चाहिए. अच्छा, अगर ये प्रॉब्लम हमने पढ़ भी लिया तो वेरिएबल्स कौन से यूज करने हैं. जो साइज हमें देके रखी है जहां पर हमें बॉम्बिंग करनी है वो है 250 बाय 500 फीट की. उसके सेंटर में हमें बॉम्बिंग करना है सो दैट इट विल गेट डिस्ट्रॉय प्रॉपरली. सो अगर मैं सेंटर में कर रही हूँ तो इस पर्टिकुलर एरिया का स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन, सॉरी एरिया का नहीं, हम जो बॉम्बिंग कर रहे हैं उस एरिया का स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन कितना होना चाहिए. अगर मैंने सेंटर पॉइंट पर, लेट मी नोट डाउन ओवर हियर, ये एक रेक्टेंगुलर शेप है और इसके सेंटर में हम यहाँ पर बॉम्बिंग करने की सोच रहे हैं. तो अगर मैंने यहाँ पर बॉम्बिंग की तो चांसेस क्या है कि मेरी बॉम्बिंग यहाँ पर होगी ही. वो शायद यहाँ पर हो सकती है, यहाँ पर हो सकती है, यहाँ पर हो सकती है, राइट. सो आई एम जस्ट इलैबोरेटिंग माय प्रॉब्लम. मैंने अभी यहाँ पर आपको मोंटे कार्लो मेथड जरूर बताई है कि इससे हम कर सकते हैं, बट व्हाइल रीडिंग आउट द प्रॉब्लम वी मे नॉट हैव दैट थॉट कि ये कौन सी मेथड से सॉल्व होगा. सो प्रॉब्लम पढ़ने के बाद जब वर्बल प्रॉब्लम या रियल लाइफ प्रॉब्लम हमारे सामने आता है तो वी हैव टू थिंक ये प्रॉब्लम एग्जैक्टली मॉडल किस वे में होगा. शुड आई टेक, ये ब्रेथ है 1250 मीटर्स फीट एंड ये है 500 फीट. तो इस पर्टिकुलर एरिया में अगर हमें बॉम्बिंग करनी है एंड ये पूरा एरिया अगर डिस्ट्रॉय करना है, I'm so sorry, I'm just giving a random example here and it's so weird to explain this, but I'm just trying to give you glimpse about that how model can be done. So अगर ये प्रॉब्लम है और मुझे यहाँ से ये डिस्टेंस और ये डिस्टेंस कवर करना है तो I must understand standard deviation and here we require the statistics. I must understand the mu which is called as the mean. So ये भी हमें statistics में पढ़ना पड़ेगा. So from this particular position to the mean of either of the side and with the standard deviation कि ये यहाँ पर गिरे है या फिर यहाँ पर गिरे है. I must understand this particular fact and then only I can cover the entire part over here. So like that any verbal problem, real life problem will be given and I have to think step by step to form a model properly. Coming to next, definition of model. A formal definition is given over here. Please go through that कि model क्या होता है. It's a approximation or abstraction of the reality which considers only the essential variables. Important variables को ही या factors को ही वो consider करेगा model हमारा. And the parameter if required in the system along with the relationship obviously. So area, when I write down as length into breadth, I am using here two variables to calculate the area. No parameter is included over here. We may require sometimes the parameters to include, which may assume any kind of value. Classification of model is also important to understand. So these are the variety of classifications we are having in terms of model. I am just going to explain here mathematical model. Many further models also can be described very effectively. Please refer the textbooks for the same. Mathematical model. These models use mathematical symbols, letters, numbers and operations like these basic symbols or sometimes the integration, differentiation, partial differentiation, linear algebra that is matrix equations, their operations represent relationship among the variables of the system to describe its properties or behavior. The solution of such models is by applying obviously the suitable mathematical technique. So mainly in operation research, what we are studying in our syllabus, we are trying to focus on the mathematical models of our real life problem coming across in linear programming or non-linear programming or transportation problem or assignment problem, and through that afterwards we will be dealing with the project where PERT and CPM analysis we are going to use. Okay, advantages of model building. So few advantages of model building are included over here. In general, models are used as a tool for analyzing complex problems जो हम verbally solve नहीं कर सकते, जिनको हमें mathematically solve करना पड़ेगा, वो problems हम यहाँ पर ले सकते हैं. Let me give you one example here also. Suppose I am having source 1, S1 and S2. इन दोनों sources पर हमारा suppose milk production हो रहा है. And having destinations say D1, D2 and D3, where certain demand for that milk is being placed. So S1 source से हमें D1, D2, D3 destinations पर milk भेजना है. So I may go at 3 destinations from S1. But D3 की जो रिक्वायरमेंट है वो S1 की सप्लाई के साथ कंप्लीट हो रही है. सो फ्रॉम S2 I may not require to send the milk at D3 destination. So I will send the milk from S2 source to D1 and D2 destination. So how effective this transportation will be, so as I will have to pay the minimum cost for the transportation. तो अगर ये प्रॉब्लम हमें दिया गया है, इट्स अ बिट कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रॉब्लम टू सॉल्व इट मैन्युअली. सो इस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करने के लिए हमें कुछ मैथमेटिकल टेक्निक्स यूज करनी पड़ेगी, जिसको हम मॉडल के फॉर्म में फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ऑब्जर्व करेंगे एंड देन उसे मैथमेटिकल टेक्निक अप्लाई करके सॉल्व करेंगे. सो मॉडल्स आर रियली एसेंशियल टूल टू एनालाइज द कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रॉब्लम. अब इस पूरे स्ट्रक्चर को हमने यहाँ पर फिगर फॉर्म में मॉडल किया है. यहाँ पर कौन सी टेक्निक यूज हो सकती है, तो मैट्रिक्स की टेक्निक्स यूज हो सकती है, मींस लीनियर अलजेब्रा हो सकता है यहाँ पर यूज. आई विल एब्रिवेट दैट. तो वो हम यहाँ पर डिस्कस कर सकते हैं. So few of the complex matrix problems can be analyzed and drafted in terms of certain proper models. Model help the decision makers to understand the system structures and operations in better way. Definitely, जैसे मैंने ये आपको बताया, problems can be viewed in its problems can be viewed in its entirety with all its components being considered simultaneously. यहाँ पर कुछ सेंटेंस फॉर्मेशन में मैंने गलती की है. Model serves as aid to transmit the ideas amongst people in the organization. Right? Model allows to analyze and experiment on a complex system which would otherwise be impossible on an actual system. Models considerably simplify the investigation and provide a powerful and flexible tool for predicting the future state of system. So ये सारे हमारे फीचर्स है मॉडल्स के और एडवांटेजेस है, ऐसा हम बोल सकते हैं. And this is the entire process of problem solving. So starting from this position, situation is being given. What I have to do with the situations? I have to formulate the problem. So we will generate a problem statement for the situation. If it is a problem statement is proper, then we can model that in terms of a mathematical model. ये मॉडल सॉल्व करने के लिए हमें कुछ टूल्स लगेंगे, जैसे हम यहाँ पर मैथमेटिकल टूल की बात कर रहे हैं, मैथमेटिकल टेक्निक्स की बात कर रहे हैं. तो ये मैथमेटिकल टूल यूज करके हम इसका सॉल्यूशन फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं. सो वंस वी गेट द सॉल्यूशन, एस्टैब्लिश प्रोसीजर, test this model and its solution whether it is applicable really or not. Implement the solution after defining the process. Implement the solution to the real life situation. अगर यहाँ पर कुछ लूप होल्स है, then we have to get back and we have to do the reverse engineering. So अगर हमारे पास डेटा है तो तो हम इस डेटा को मॉडल में यूज कर सकते हैं टू गेट अ प्रॉपर आउटकम। देन सिचुएशन को हम मॉडल कंस्ट्रक्शन यूज करने के लिए भी इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं। वी कैन कंस्ट्रक्ट अ मॉडल बेस्ड ऑन द सिचुएशन। हियर वी कैन चेंज द वेरिएबल्स, वी कैन चेंज द पैरामीटर्स। टूल्स जो है वो प्रॉपर है या नहीं, ये हम क्रॉस चेक कर सकते हैं बाय रिविजिटिंग द प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट। तो आप यहाँ पर देख सकते हो कि यहाँ पर जो भी हमने रीजन्स ड्रॉ की है, either it is for situation or it is for problem statement, for model, for tools, for solutions, all the way it's not a single way process। हम सिचुएशन से स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं एंड बैक टू सिचुएशन पर आ रहे हैं, ऐसा नहीं हो रहा है। हम प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट से भी सिचुएशन पर आ रहे हैं, हम मॉडल से फिर से टूल्स पर जाके फिर से प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट पर आ रहे हैं। सो वी आर रिविजिटिंग ईच ऑफ द रीजन to precisely making our modeling effective। एंड ये सारी प्रोसेस मैथमेटिकल मॉडलिंग की यहाँ पर आगे वाले कुछ स्लाइड्स में स्टेप बाय स्टेप इंक्लूड करके इलैबोरेट की है। आई होप यू कैन गो थ्रू दैट, इट्स नॉट वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड। एंड सम ऑपरेशनल रिसर्च मॉडल्स अपार्ट फ्रॉम द मैथमेटिकल मॉडलिंग, जो हमने ऊपर वाले के इमेज में भी देखा था। Few of the models here I can enlist: deterministic model, linear programming, this we are going to learn. Network optimization, this is also we are going to do. Integer programming, we are not going to do much of the way, but one or two example we can go on, take on this. Non-linear programming, definitely we are going to do this. Stochastic model we are not going to include. Non-linear programming में stochastic model नहीं आ रहा है। Unfortunately, Markov chains are not included, but I'll try to address this particular part with one case study. Queuing theory is not included in our syllabus. Decision analysis is not included. Transportation problems comes in linear programming. Assignment problems comes in linear programming. Non-linear programming I told you. Gaming theory also address little bit to the probabilistic model. तो ये इंक्लूडेड है हमारे यहाँ पर। सो ये सारे मॉडल्स हम पढ़ने वाले हैं हमारे पूरे सिलेबस में। द स्कोप आई ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू, सम फिगर्स आर इंक्लूडेड हियर, डिफरेंट फील्ड्स, opportunities and shortcomings of OR. So opportunities for approach for problem solving facilities, decision maker to define his or her objective, assumptions, constraints explicitly. So this is the opportunity to the decision maker or any organization. Identify variables might influence the decision. So हमने अगर right variables को चुना हमारा मॉडल फॉर्मेशन करते वक्त, तो डेफिनेटली दैट विल इन्फ्लुएंस द डिसीजन मेकिंग। अगर हमने गलत वेरिएबल्स चुने तो हमें गलत डिसीजन मिलेगा। In identifying gaps in the data required to support the solution to the problem, ये important है aspect, and this is a very important opportunity with OR to solve the problem, given problem of the organization. Use the computer software to solve the problems, ये भी important है, हमारे syllabus में actually included नहीं है, but we can use many open source software to understand the solution through the mathematical modeling of many problems which are included in OR operation research, open source software. तो अगर आप इंटरेस्टेड हो तो किसी ओपन सोर्स सॉफ्टवेयर के साथ हम इस सब का एक बार ड्रिलिंग रख सकते हैं फॉर 1 or 2 hours. So we are having with us MATLAB, we are having with us Microsoft Excel, then we are having with us R programming also. Out of these R programming and Excel open source सॉफ्टवेयर में आते हैं, बट MATLAB के लिए हमें इसका पेड वर्जन लगेगा। फॉर्चुनेटली अवर कॉलेज इज हैविंग सब्सक्रिप्शन ऑफ MATLAB, सो हमारे पास एकेडमिक वर्जन है MATLAB का जो हम यूज कर सकते हैं ये सारे ट्रांसपोर्टेशन के असाइनमेंट्स के, लीनियर प्रोग्रामिंग के या नॉन लीनियर प्रोग्रामिंग के प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने के लिए। सो understanding the problem structure is sufficient to apply the open source software to get the solution of OR problems. So it's also possible for us. Shortcomings. Solution to a problem is often derived by simplifying assumptions. So ये shortcoming भी है in the sense कि आपका जो प्रॉपर रियल लाइफ प्रॉब्लम है वो ड्रॉप डाउन होकर एक सिंपल सिचुएशन पर आ जाता है एंड इट मे नॉट गिव यू द करेक्ट डिसीजन इन दैट केस. Consequently, such solutions are not optimal. Obviously, अगर मैं variety of components मेरे real life प्रॉब्लम के एड्रेस ही नहीं कर रही हूँ, डेफिनेटली प्रॉब्लम आपका जो सिंप्लीफाई हो रहा है वो कंसीडर ही नहीं कर रहा है बहुत सारे वेरिएबल्स को, तो जो सोल्यूशन मिल रहा है वो भी ऑप्टिमल नहीं होगा. डेफिनेटली दिस इज द शॉर्टकमिंग. मॉडल्स may not represent realistic situation in which decisions are made. So that will definitely lead to the wrong decisions. Okay. After this, often the decision maker is not fully aware of the limitations of the model. Definitely. अगर हमें precise model चाहिए, optimize properly करना है, तो decision makers के अलावा यहाँ पर हमें expertise लगेगा to address the limitations of the models. Not possible always by the decision makers. So वो अगर खुद अवेयर नहीं है limitations के लिए तो model will not be set properly. So these are few shortcomings of the operation research as well. इसके अलावा variety of sectors में variety of application से OR के जो हम हमारी जो reference books है उसमें से देख सकते हैं. Apart from today's lecture where a little bit of OR theory we have discussed, हम बहुत कुछ और के बारे में पढ़ सकते हैं थ्रू द टेक्स्ट बुक्स, बट द सिचुएशन ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर थियोरी पार्ट और प्रॉब्लम्स ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर थियोरी पार्ट will be given in terms of certain theory questions like explain the advantages of the OR, what are the advantages of model building, what is the definition of OR, what are the different areas where OR is implemented. So that sort of questions may be asked in examination regarding the operation research. So what I will do, apart from this particular PPT, I will prepare a question bank based on the theory part of operation research and I will float that question bank to you all so that you can prepare at least few of the things from theory examination point of view of this particular beat. Will that be okay to all?
Yeah, I guess.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. It's always very helpful.
Yes. So apart from this, I think I should not emphasize more on theory part which is included in our syllabus. You can better we go for it. Let me just highlight it once again. Yes, this is your first unit. Introduction to OR, different approaches to problem solving, model and modeling in operation research, this also we discussed, advantages also we discussed, methods for solving operation research models, methodology of operation research and advantages. All that aspects we covered. But अगर आपको इसमें कुछ डीपली पढ़ना है तो ये सारे रेफरेंस बुक्स है. आई गेस मेरे पास कुछ रेफरेंस बुक्स है जो मैं आपको भेज सकती हूँ. So shall we form a Google Classroom or will you drop the mail ID so that I can send you on mail itself?
Whichever
Google Classroom will be preferred, right?
or whichever the way you feel comfortable.
No, I'm comfortable with Google Classroom because every now and then it's easy for me to upload anything on Google Classroom instead of sending you mail.
Right. Yeah.
Actually, we have for the last semester also we have used the Google Classroom.
Okay, then it's fine. So I'll prepare a Google Classroom and I will upload everything on Google Classroom. The assignment, notes or question bank, anything. Okay, fine. So do you have any questions regarding today's topic?
Based on everything you explained, I guess the second point in advantages, it makes a very complete sense. With that sentence, when you said you might have missed something. Yeah.
Sorry?
That one right there.
What you said lastly?
Yeah, it makes a complete sense. See, the problem can be viewed in its entirety. That means the problem can be viewed in its domain, and then all the elements belong to that domain would be addressed, like boundary conditions and all the other elements
Mm-hmm.
sort of problems. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, based on what you explained, I guess that's a correct step. And
Hmm.
um, I have a question about maybe it's a very silly question, but
Hmm.
in this subject we try to learn like how to converse the problem and apply different algorithms and methods so that that is based on the type of problem, and so that we can get out as early as possible. So, and in upcoming days, quantum mechanics are playing very important role in converting problems in a very short time observation. Uh, what's the significance of that in complex research? If that is going to play an important role in upcoming days or something like that? You can just add your thoughts or you can give some overview on that.
Yes, definitely. Because being from mechanical background, you definitely have that thought that what is the significance of this particular course in your branch. I hope the question is correct. You are asking the same. What is the
Uh,
significance of
no, I'm asking about the significance of quantum mechanics in operational research.
mechanics?
Quantum mechanics.
Quantum mechanics. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Actually, I don't know much about quantum mechanics, but if you could explain me what is included, I can give you the proper answer.
Well, all I know is Schrodinger's cat. I know that sort of theory. Like so for any kind of problem, the solution may or may not be there. We only get to know when the you know uh, it was explained in such a way, like let's say if there is a box and filled with a poisonous gas, and
Mm-hmm.
then a cat is put in there, and the cat might be alive or dead. Uh, both conditions will exist. We only get to know unless until the box is open. So it's like more of the solution might exist both in zero and one form, and that's all I know. And it's helping to convert the problem in a very short duration. It is a kind of breakthrough in what is going on in today's era.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, let me tell you one thing about this. Though I was saying frequently that real life problem can be modeled using OR, but not all real problem can be modeled using OR. Real life problems in any interdisciplinary field, like you are saying quantum mechanics, may have different approach to solve that particular problem. So it might be probability straight away instead of using OR. It might be differential equations in some of the cases. It might be partial differential equations in the case where fluid mechanics and dynamics is considered. So that different approaches we have to adopt. It may happen that a particular problem may or may not be addressed by OR, but can be addressed by different technique. So, model and model formation, I was explaining regarding the OR situations, like where you have to take a decision whether to go for it or whether not to go for it. Like the situation you explained, whether that cat will be alive or not. Regardless the situations or that poisonous gas, whatever you are having in that case, so whether to keep that cat over there or not. So that can be a decision making situation. So for that case, we can use the OR,
Right.
right?
And
But many of the problems of quantum mechanics may not be addressed by OR. So
right.
where there comes the decision making, OR will help you.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Actually, last year I was having a course at NPTEL, by IIT Bombay. So on quantum mechanics, they gave a problem where a person goes out of his house, and he was aimed to go at let's say saloon or barber shop, but he was supposed to stop at various other locations for some different other purposes like bank and some grocery stores or things like that. So we had to design an optimum so that person can be complete his task in a very optimum way. That sort of problem was there in quantum mechanics, which I think I can relate with what you just.
Yes, definitely. This problem can be solved with transportation method.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you one more situation. Suppose tomorrow I will ask you to reach the college by this particular timing, 10 a.m. And while leaving the home, your parents asked you to complete certain tasks. So you will first go to certain bank, then you will come to the railway station to drop someone, and then you will reach to the college. So you are doing these tasks while reaching to the college. So obviously from home to reach to the college, this particular destination, within this destination you are again visiting two different places. So while managing your trip or while managing your transportation, you will definitely optimize your route. So that is quite possible to solve with the transportation problem.
And ma'am, can the priority be a boundary condition in this? Like we can prioritize what exactly we want to do first?
Depends on the situation. We may have certain kind of boundaries in terms of lower bound or upper bound sometimes.
Yes.
Give me a minute. Huh? Yes. Yes. Another question to everyone? Okay. So just give me 1 minute. I'll note down your name and we'll stop. You all are added in WhatsApp group now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Ma'am, you add Omkar also. He just now left, I think, so Metro Vision.
In WhatsApp group?
No, in just now, in attendance.
Okay. He left the group. Omkar, surname?
Walke.
Okay, fine.
And Ruturaj as well.
Ruturaj also.
So yes, 7 students were there. 2 were not joined, right? Okay, that's it for today then, and hopefully we'll meet next Thursday once again. Or in between, if it is possible for you, please let me know, because mathematical formulation and techniques what we are going to learn will take little more time to understand, because we are having a little big problem to solve, lengthy problem to solve.
Still now we didn't receive the proper timetable. Once we got it, we will let you know.
Okay, fine for me. So just let me know in advance, at least 1 day prior, so we can arrange the sessions with the practice. And please carry notebook and pen with you so that you can also have kind of practice of solving problems. Yes. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you for this amazing start, ma'am. We have got a very positive mindset of subject. We are
Yes.
excited for learning.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited and it's my first time to teach this subject.
Oh, but
So-
it didn't seem like that. I mean, you must have gone through a very broad study around this topic. I think.
I'm trying to, but I expect your cooperation as well, because it's first time to teach the subject to MTech students. Yes, thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Let's meet next week.
Yes.
Have a good evening. Bye.
Yes, thank you.